Another Lost 45, a folk record this time on the bottom rungs of Billboard's Hot 100. Let's get to it right now. At number 94, up one from 95. People World by Jim and Gene. Some might remember seeing them on the Art Linkletter show. He gave them a big boost back in the early to mid 60s. Jim and Gene. Jim Glover, he was attending Ohio State University. That's where he met Phil Ochs. Ochs. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name. And Jim Glover. It was Jim Glover and Gene Ray. Jim Glover rather, he turned Phil Ochs on to folk music. He taught him how to play the guitar. He turned him on to folk music and left his politics. They formed a duo together, and the duo was called the Singing Socialists. It was Phil Ochs and Jim Glover. Then they became the Sundowners, but the group didn't last long, or the duo didn't last long. It lasted until 1961, and Jim Glover, he moved from Ohio to New York City, and that's where he met Gene Ray, and they met at the Cafe Raffio, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Raffio in Greenwich Village. They started playing the Cafe Raffio in Greenwich Village, and they were making enough money to pay their rent on their apartment. Actually, Jim Glover fell in love with Gene Ray. Got to mention something else about Gene Ray that's going to blow you away too in just a minute. Well, they met. This was 1962. Of course, Jim Glover was starting to write songs. His songwriting prowess was starting to improve as well, and they started appearing some on the Art Linkletter show. Put out their first album in 1965. Mostly cover songs. Lead Belly, Buffy St. Marie, Tom Paxton, and Phil Ochs. And by the time they got to their third album, it was mostly just more of it was original material. And third album, it featured the single. The album was called People World. Single called People World. Was not a big hit though. Only got as high as number. Let me bring it up for you. Peaked at 94. That's it. On Billboard's Hot 100 for 3 weeks. But I got to mention something else about Gene Ray. I just found this out. Supposedly, one of my favorite songs, Cinnamon Girl by Neil Young, inspired by Gene Ray. Now, how lovely is that? Just found that out. Interesting where this research will take you. Well, anyway, going back to Billboard's Hot 100 of February the 17th, 1968, it is People World, a Lost 45 by Jim and Gene.